Okay, Christy, are you on?
Here I am. Yeah, thank you
Go
guys
for
so
it.
much. Yeah, this is Christy Jenkins, and I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. I am so thrilled that all of you could join us tonight. This is going to be an amazing evening. I'm so glad that you took the time out of your extremely busy schedules to hop on so that you can join us for what you're about to experience. How did we end up here? Just to be completely transparent, my husband and I, for the last 6 months or so, we have just been really trying to figure out how to do it all. We've been trying to figure out how to manage our business, how to maintain a healthy family and a flourishing marriage, and go into church. There's so many things on our plate. And we really were just, honestly, we were just crying out to the Lord, trying to get some answers. And you know what? He told us that things were going to start to simplify in our life, and He was going to send us some tools so that we could start simplifying things and really not feel like we were chasing our tails all the time. The very next day, as I'm going about my day, just doing motherly things, the Lord dropped Christa into my heart. Now, I didn't personally know Christa. I had seen her speak and I'd seen her around the Young Living circles, but had not had a chance to personally interact with her. And so, just to be completely transparent, I was a little nervous to reach out to her because I'm a complete stranger and she's just very well established. And I did anyway. I was like, you know what, Lord, if she's the one that you want me to connect with, I will drive to her house, like whatever it takes. I need whatever she has. And so I reached out to her, and I honestly was so humbled. Number one, that she responded to my message and welcomed me into her circle and to just let me kind of pick her brain. We've had text messages and emails and phone conversations, some of the most warm and endearing and humbling conversations with her. She is one of those true blue, down to earth people that you can really connect with and relate with. She doesn't make you feel like an idiot because you may or may not be doing things the way you should. But she's so nurturing, and really she is such a blessing to me and to our family. And I'm just honored and really grateful. I even have gratitude diffusing in my diffuser right this minute in this room just because of I'm just so grateful for your time, Christa. And so, Christa, we're just excited to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Awesome. Thank you, Christy. And I am just so thankful for you, Christy, and reaching out. And it was really because of you and all your questions that has moved me to create this meeting tonight. And I'm so grateful for you all for tuning in. I have so much to share, and I have to give a huge applause to all of you who filled out the registration forms. I was totally overwhelmed with all of your questions, your comments, your desire to learn. I'm telling you, you guys have asked me enough questions to teach for probably 10 weeks. And so, with that said, I am hoping to do another class next Wednesday. So, mark your calendars if this is a good time. You guys can chat in the left if this is a good time and works for you, and if you'd be willing to come. But I will cover next week the 3 ways to know products are safe and 3 ways to know what to do. Tonight, I am going to share about 3 ways to share because that was kind of the focus of this tonight. But I am so excited. I talk really fast. Get your pen and papers ready. I will cover a lot. I don't want to go over an hour. I don't want to keep your time. And so my name is Christa Smith, and that's my husband, Jason, back there. And if you're on visual, I'm on the computer and I have a PowerPoint. I'm very visual. Make sure you mute yourselves. But I'm very visual. These slides are not really for you. They're kind of for me. And so some of them may or may not make sense to you, and that's totally okay. They're trying to keep me on. You'll be thankful for them because as soon as you get to know me, you'll know that I can really talk. This is my family. Actually, that really isn't my family, but we have 15 children. And before I got started, I will share a little bit about me. So I actually got started in 2009. And I did never want to do this business. And I will share a little bit about that. But how does a mom of 15 promote every 6 months and was just a silver in 2000, I think it was in 12, and goes to Royal Crown Diamond by 2015. So basically in 3 years, I went from silver to royal, working once a month. And
once a month. Your line is now unmuted.
Oh, okay. So can you still hear me? So I got some backlash. Can you still hear me okay? Yes. Okay, great. These are a few of my girls. So as you know, as if you're a mom or if you're a grandma, you're totally motivated by children. And I just picked this out just because I liked it. It was cute. It's a Father's Day date. We do have 10 girls out of our 15 children. I figured you would appreciate getting the picture of this silly girl picture. And so Dad was very overwhelmed with his 6 dates that night. But before I got started, I actually tried Discovery Toys, much like you, Pampers Chef and Arbonne. I love the home-based business, not model as much, but quality. The quality of the things that is available through home-based business is usually typically off the charts. And I did not do very successful. Actually, Arbonne was my last one, and it was so saturated and so overwhelming that I couldn't even give my samples away. I had a friend, she said, Christa, I can't even take your samples. I got 12 of these at home. And she wouldn't even take my sample. And I felt the release from the Lord to do that business. And I was very frustrated. So I talked to one of my leaders, and she told me about this lady named Danny. I went to First Steps. I listened to a Monday call, and I woke my husband up in the middle of the night, and I said, we have to go. We have to do whatever it takes. I went, and I believe that was around, I really actually am not even sure what year that was, as I've had, when you make humans, you have lots of brain cells that go other places. Anyway, it was before Young Living. I plugged into that training. I brought all of the training I learned home. I learned the laws of success, and I used those within my home and my homeschool community. Through that, I had found Young Living, and I got started in Young Living in 2009. And I was not going to do the business. I really was looking for health alternatives. I think I was pregnant with my 11th baby at that time. And I worked OB. I have a degree in physiology. I worked with medical doctors. I worked on the floor. My dad does anesthesia. My mom does nursing. So I knew my alternatives by having a baby. And I had done everything any doctor would tell me. And I had struggled with severe preeclampsia issues during pregnancy. And I really started to look for alternative supports to support my body through my pregnancies. And that's really how I found Young Living. Actually, I was dragged to a meeting. So if you were dragged to a meeting, please chat yes in the chat. Say, yes, that was me. I was dragged, did not know what I was doing. Someone dragged me to a meeting. And because you and I have a lot in common, they actually didn't even tell me it was about oils. I really had no idea about oils. And so if you were dragged, please tell your dragging friend, thank you. And just to pause right now, y'all, the person who dragged me, and her friend, well, two of them, my leader who signed me up has never taught a class. Her leader has never taught a class. And so if you're feeling one of those people like you don't get support and you don't have that, you are in a great position because that sets you up for success. So you need to say thank you for them too. So I was kind of an orphan and really didn't know what I was doing, but I had the Danny skills. I really didn't remember Danny skills, but what had happened is I remembered mastering 2 skills. And you guys write this down: edification and sharing stories. That's all I did for 2.5 years. Edification and sharing stories. And we can talk about that how to do that later, if you want. But that really is explained by Danny. And there's an outline on how to share stories, and there's a tool on how to share story or edification. Edification isn't about liking the leader, the class, what they might be sharing. Edification is about honor. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit, but it's about setting and framing your person's mind and their perspective. The first oil I knew about was the only oil I knew about was oregano. And so we make a lot of mistakes in sharing, and we say a lot of things that create bunny trails. And so we can talk about that too. So keep your notes on what you would like me to talk about. because I really can talk about a lot of different things. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me. I had that baby in 2009. I was not sharing. I was just edifying, sharing stories, and sharing casually. I did attend care. People are like, what's care? What is care about? Now, if you're brand new and you're just getting started, you don't need care. I don't recommend care for a lot of reasons to my brand new people. Now, if you're silver or gold, you must run to the next care event. Go to I put raindroptraining.com. But if you're a leader and you really need the answers to, can I overdose? Is this safe? Can I use this on my baby? If you're having those questions, your answers will all be taken care of through care. And it's a 3-day training, or you can also just listen to Dr. Stewart on YouTube and for free. And if you actually listen to him, your questions can be answered through his training as well for free. Or if you're one of those people that really need immersion, really need, to connect with people, then you'd want to attend care. I attended care that answered all of my questions that I needed as a medical person in my mind and my research, and it made me feel really good and solid about using the oils. So I had the baby at the end of that month. I actually was able to totally support my body that I actually started going to preeclampsia, and I was able to stop that in 1 week. That is a crazy story. I'm actually featured in Gentle Baby's book, the 2nd edition. At that point, I interviewed my leader at the time. She was a silver. I asked her how much I saw how much she worked. I asked her how much she made. She said she made $3,000. And I saw how much she worked. And in my head, I said, I will never, ever do this. She taught all day Saturdays. She gave raindrops away. When she would come to the town, I would edify her. She's brilliant. She's an amazing teacher, passionate for the oils, has her own amazing stories. And I would edify her, but we had trouble getting people to even get a free raindrop at the time. That's how, very little it was. And I, was so resistant to starting the business because I saw the potential that Young Living had. I saw how they worked. And I knew the scripture, if you're faithful over a little, he will set you over much. And I knew that I had to be faithful as being a mom. I had to be faithful being a wife. And I knew as a mom of, at that time, 11, that doing what she was doing was totally not even an option, just not an option. I would rather live off my husband's income and never have the chance of traveling and things like that than to sacrifice everything that I cared so much about. And at the time, so I really didn't have in my head that wasn't an option. So when I started looking at this system, one of the key things is to realize, is this duplicatable, what you're doing? And so when I looked at my leader, it wasn't. And everybody was doing that. She wasn't alone. Everybody that was in Young Living was doing exactly what she was doing. They were all day teachings. They'd feature doctors and therapists. And so when you're doing whatever you're doing, you need to ask yourself, is this duplicatable? Can Christa do this? Can a mom who's stressed out on anxiety pills and, fighting with her husband do what you're doing? What are you selling? Are you selling your stress level? Are you selling divorce? No one's going to want to join you. And, if that's what you're sharing, and if you're working all day and doing all that, then it's just not an option. Okay. So, back to my story. Because of my research, I really developed a passion, about the oils. And I literally just shared to anywhere from 0 people to 3 people each month. That was the most I've ever signed up in 1 month, is 3 people. Guys, that's like crazy compared to what some of you have already done and what you're doing. But I was passionate about keeping my life in balance, and I would just share here and there. And I just started to grow. I started to get a little paycheck. And what happened next was that this is Malachi, and he's our 12th baby. He was born in December, and in January, February, he had RSV where he needed the ventilator. And then he got off for 14 days. He was on the ventilator fighting for his every breath. And we used the oils. I was kind of brand new and using them in that kind of manner. And 2 months later, he actually needed gut surgery for another situation, which I talk about in my Dr. Mom. But through this situation, I really saw how the oils worked. And that's what propelled me into having the most amazing passion. And after reading Healing Oils of the Bible by Dr. Stewart, I saw the scriptures. I saw the root word of pharmakia is witchcraft. I saw my enlightenment just came up. And as you can see, here is Malachi on the ventilator. And the stories that we have with using the oils through this journey is absolutely amazing. And there's my child, Mackenzie, with Malachi in the hospital. And this is, a lot of people don't know about him having RSV before our massive gut situation, which we talk about in my Dr. Mom class. But this is where I really saw the oils work. And also, guys, this is where I saw the residual really work. At this point, I was making about $600 a month. And when my baby's, on the ventilator and things like that, you're not sharing, you're not working, you're not doing anything. And this is where I really saw the power of our industry. And I also saw what the moms up there did not have. They didn't have the things that I was using and having and sharing their stories. So after that situation with Malachi, which is an incredible story, if I have a chance to share with you, I actually released after May, June and July, we recovered. I taught my first class in August of 2011. And right after that, I was actually pregnant while we were in the hospital. And after 2 days after I taught my very first class, I broke my ankle, severed my tibia and fibia off my foot, and I was bedridden for 3 months. So can you say hiccup? Anyway, I was bedridden for 3 months. And then at the end of 3 months, I got a call from my leaders, and they said, "You're really close to silver." And I was so resistant to doing this business. I literally said, I do not care. I don't want anything I don't want to do this business. I don't know I'm doing this. I just want to, I called up my one person and I just said, I want to help you get your bonus. And she said, sure. And so she said, well, it's a difference of $800 a month for you. And I said, okay, well, what do I need to do? And they said, teach a couple more classes. Here's my ankle, y'all. So I'm sharing this to show that from silver to royal, these are the hiccups I had to go through, and I still grew. And I had 7 screws in a plate. Here's my other side. And yes, it's massively ouch. And I was pregnant, 7 weeks pregnant this time. And I delivered the baby. And 3 months later, I had another surgery to remove those 7 screws in that plate. And it literally, her name is Miracle, and that's an incredible story. But I went to silver that same year, which is crazy to me. And, but after she was born in May, I had another surgery, which I was bedridden for 3 months. Then that summer is when I asked my family, can I work? Can I really share? And they said, sure. So I worked for one leader. And this was when I did it all wrong. I had forgotten all about what I had learned from Danny. And I worked really hard for this one leader. And then I thought, you know what, I'm done. I'm not doing this. But you guys, it wasn't until my free trip to silver. This was my trigger. The free trip to the farm. These are all the farms pictured here in September 12th that I fell in love with the company. And I was like, when you see that what Young Living really stands apart, you just can't help fall in love. You can't help fall in love with the farms and the people. And so it was the farm trip that really said, okay, I asked my family, can you get behind me? Would you let me do this? Shortly after this, here's a picture of our farm, river rafting. Isn't that gorgeous? This was a free silver trip. There's only about 40 of us. And this was the most profound trip that if I ever get to share about that, remind me to share about the silver trip. It was the most amazing time. So here I am, delivered my 12th, 13th baby, and I get this free trip. You can imagine it spoke my love language. So the silver trip is amazing. And y'all, that is one of the key motives for me to help people get to silver, is being able to go to the farm and experience it firsthand. Okay. I threw this in here as a side note because when you get to silver, you get these trips from the farm. But they came out with a brand new Elite Express program that you guys, by getting from star and these positions, it's a value of almost $10,000 plus the trips that they're giving. So I'm just going to run through this, but if you get to star, and I don't know all the details, you'll have to go to youngliving.com just to see, but you get a free peppermint and these oils and a free aria. It's a value of about $400. And at executive, you can't really read that very well, but you're making an average of about $500 a month. Now, let me just pause right here and let you know that it wasn't until gold where I started to use my income for extra things. And so don't expect to use your income. You should be getting and using your money all to put right back into using the products. And I'll talk about why in a second. But the average time it takes to get there is 2 years. So that's the average. The highest it takes right here, if you see this 233, it's 233 months. Okay. And these stats are really very wonderful to kind of chew on if you have a chance to go look at that. But that's a $12,000 up to the highest, but the average is around $500. That's enough to pay for almost 2 orders, 1.5 orders. And your goal is to get to where you can pay for 2 orders. Again, here is executive. They're giving a value of $1,700 values with the free stuff from a 30 kit, 15 mils, and a Fitbit. And then the silver award, including the trips, is a mini iPad, the Fees collection, 2 packs of laundry soap and hand soap. I mean, it's just crazy. And then here's the gold. The gold awards is a value of $4,300. You get it like one of every diffuser and the Aria collection, which is 120 oils. I mean, okay, I'm saying this. They didn't have this for us back then when I was silver and gold. They didn't have the free Aria. We didn't have silver and 6. And we only could look forward to the trips, but we didn't know what we were missing. But when you all have it now, this is just incredibly motivating to me. This is a value of over $10,000 to get all of these freebies, which is crazy to me. And a lot of times, let me go back into my notes. Hold on. I wanted to go back a little bit to one of the things that I saw from your surveys, y'all, is that I saw a lot of fear. And here's one of the convicting things that I had. And I was afraid too. I wanted to just share with you. I was afraid. I'm like, what if people think I'm weird? What if they think that's an MLM? And y'all, I lost some friends. I lost some friends through this journey. But this was the scripture that really spoke to me. And it was about the talents of the wicked servants and how the Lord gave them some talents. And he said, well, I was afraid and I hid your talent, not mine, your talent, in the ground. So here you have. And the master called him a wicked and slothful servant. Well, that really convicted me because we are his mouthpiece. And I have to tell you, if I was never dragged to that meeting, I can't imagine what my life would look like. Not only would I probably be either bedridden or dead, my children, a few of them would be dead. I would not have the financial blessings. I would never have the chance to travel. I would never have the chance to actually give back and to build houses for Ecuador and to make a significant difference in that way. And so I have to say, that summer, I said, okay, I'm doing this. I went to the farm, I said, I'm doing this. But y'all, I did it wrong. I was the expert. I worked for one leader. We signed everybody up under her. And I finally was like, oh my gosh. She said, how do you know how to do this? How do you know how to say this? How do you know how to do all this stuff? She said, and I finally went, oh my gosh. Because she bought some script and it was a total failure. And I spent 5 hours with her on the phone. I thought, this is so hard. This is not, whatever. And I finally was like, oh my gosh, everything I learned in this training and you need to go. So I went with her and just for support. But it was there, the Lord really put upon my heart. He said, work once a month and write a script and use a script. And so I spent 6 months writing a script. And then that summer, 2013, I launched the script. And by that time, I turned gold like within 1 or 2 months. I had 3 teams at the time. And guess what those 3 teams did when I launched that new system? Guess what they said? Does anybody want to guess what happened with my team? The 3 teams that I had when I launched that system, and some of them are on this call. Guess what they said to me? Because they had known me as, you know, what everybody else was doing. I looked like everybody else. So I had to pretend like I had no team. And that's when I got 3 new teams and went all the way to the top. I promoted every 6 months, working once a month. Using this system. And you can ask my team, but there was several months that I was bedridden because within this time frame, I actually had 2 more children. And that meant I took off about 6 months. So I'm sharing all this because I want you to know there are laws of success that you can fight them, you can try to run around them, or you can just swallow your ego and realize what you're doing isn't working. And you can apply these laws of success and get some stuff done and do some massive impact for your business, for the kingdom of God, and for changing lives. And so I had to pretend like I had no team. I went to my very first convention in 2013. I was there, and this is a picture of me that my friend Heather Portward, who's one of my best friends, took a picture of me. There was only 2 of us there for my team, 2013. Y'all, that was just 3 years ago. We're in 16. One of the laws of success that I learned was putting my priorities right. And I had a lot of moms ask me, how do you do this by, you know, putting time management? How do you have time? Here's my order. God has been, and sometimes y'all, I get this messed up. I have not arrived. I am not an expert. I am not a trainer. I'm just sharing with you what I've learned, what I've applied, and I have gotten the results. And I have been completely blessed by the Lord. But divorce was very familiar to me. I actually served my husband divorce papers early on in our marriage. And this is why I was a Nazi to protect my marriage. And I can tell you firsthand, I talked to leaders in our industry, in our company, that divorce is a real word in their vocabulary. And so you don't want to do this wrong. And so you want to do this right. And you can fight the laws of success, or you can just come under them and swallow your ego because you realize what you're doing isn't going to work and isn't working. If you've hit a wall, there's a reason. And so these are the priorities that to really run this race. And this is where I go back to that scripture. If you're faithful with the little, if you're changing diapers, if you're cleaning bottles, you're wiping snot, you're serving your husband lunch, and you are spending time with God, and you're crying out for favor, and you can rest assured that all of heaven is behind you, cheering you on. And it brings me to tears because he is so powerful, and we put him in such a limited box, and we limit him with our fears and our insecurities. But Young Living came really slow down to the very bottom. And I asked permission from my family. I said, can I work once a month? And like, yes, Mom. I didn't have to fight them when I walked out the door. They cheered me on. I didn't have to yell at my husband. I didn't have to yell at my kids. And there was a couple of times when I was not pregnant and I felt good. I tried to do a couple of meetings. Like, Mom, you said you'd only do once a month meetings. And I was like, you're right. And they pull me back down to staying where I can focus. Now, you can maybe do once a week. You might do twice a month. You might do like a goal of 5 one-on-ones a week or a month. Whatever it is, just get permission and know that that's your guidelines and just stick with it. Okay, so I shortly had another baby in 2013, and in 2014 I went to Diamond, and then several months in August, 7-8 months later, I went to Crown, and almost 6 months later, looks like, I went to Royal Crown Diamond and also had the baby, number baby 15, that very same month, which at Royal, you have to have $1.5 million with a sales volume each month. So I'm just sharing with you, it's crazy that I did that God blessed me in that. But I took the laws of success and I didn't let fear stop me. And I just kept pressing through. And so we're going to address a couple of those things. Here's some secrets that I found. I'm going to share with you 3 things that I did early on and after brainstorming with Heather that I've forgotten. And this is what you can do with your brand new people. This is what you can do about what you're doing now. And I will tell you some keys and secrets. Here's the key secret that I did in this journey is I use the products. I cannot tell you how many people are silvers and golds, diamonds, even higher ranks that don't know the products. They don't use them. They don't scan. They don't read the essential oil desk reference. They don't read the healing oils of the Bible. This is a non-negotiable. This is where you are faithful with a little. That income that you get until you're a gold should go right back into investing into the products. And I'm going to share with you tonight how you can do that the very most cheapest way. The second secret that I did was I invest into skill. If you can't get to a trainer, if you can't plug into online, if you can't listen to CDs while you take a shower, then there's something wrong. And we need to go back to figure out what that might be. But I read at night. I studied at night for hours at night. When my kids would go to bed, 9, 10 o'clock, I would put myself in bed and I'd stay up till midnight reading and learning and just, learning all of that. The third was just that time management and finding time to work. It's not until just this year that I actually hired someone to come in and give me quote office hours. But before it was during my co-op times, my kids would be in co-op and I would have exactly 5 hours to get my job done. And that applied my law of promotion. When you put the law of promotion, that is incredible, very, really powerful. Because don't you think I got some serious work done in those 5 hours? And it's fun. Who doesn't love learning and sharing all about this? But here's the other amazing tip that I realized, but actually learn and sharing is that my motive at the very beginning was never rank, farm, money. My motive was to help my family. Then my motive turned to when I walked out of that hospital with my baby in my arms, and I knew I was leaving moms with their children in that hospital with no tools, and seeing what they were facing and their options. I cannot tell you how passionate I was to share with other moms in hopes that they would never be in my position or those moms' position and may walk out of the hospital without a baby. And so my motive was always focused on others. And this is a huge, huge secret because 97% of communication is nonverbal. So if you're trying to pay your bills and bring your husband home, don't you think that nonverbal is coming out? And if you're, trying to make rank, that's coming out. If you're stressed, you're fighting with your husband, don't you think that is coming out of your nonverbal communication? Again, it goes back to what are you selling? What are you sharing? This is the answer to all of that issues. And my motives evolved. First, like I said, it was my health, then it was to help others, then it was trying to get somebody else to get to the farm, and then it was about meeting new people, then it was to pay off debt, and then it was about traveling. Oh my gosh, the trips for Young Living, guys, are crazy, off the charts, amazing. I'm talking from they pick you up at the airport, they take you to your hotel, they give you vouchers to go eat in case you're there early and the meals haven't started yet. You spend no money, pretty much. I mean, we did in France a little bit, but it's a completely covered trip on top of all the gifts that they give you. So then it turned my motive into really changing generation. This last month or two, my husband went and took 3 of my 15 children to Ecuador, where they built a home. There's Marty in the orange right there, smiling she's my 12-year-old, as she is working in the heat of Ecuador, building a home for a family who had a tin shed and would move with the rain. And this is Morgan in the heat as well, down there helping. And this is the circumstances they were working. And actually they found out later, my husband realized it was sewage water. There was sewage all over the floor there. And this now is my motive. I am changing my children's future, their children's future, their generation. Their friends are watching them. Families are watching them. and to be able to impact a community like that. We sponsored 2 kids while we were down there, and they took us to these 2 kids' houses that we sponsor. And the neighbors there, because we were there visiting Maria, who is a 3rd grader, she got so excited that the neighbors saw her, and they had never seen her so excited because we were there visiting, that they took pictures of her. That's how impactful this is. And to be able to pay for this and not have it cut into our budget and our house bills, and you guys, it's so, it's breathtaking, shocking, and it brings me to tears, because I have friends about going to Uganda, and Nepal is coming up, and to be able to really give back, this is now my mission, is to help people who can't help themselves and really, really poor and hurting. And this is my this is Marty again. I mean, y'all, they were hot. They worked for solid days of sweat and tears. But this is my next tip, is that when we saw a shift, when we stopped, when we started giving a true 10% to the real poor, the real widow, and the real hurting, not a church wall, not a church activity, not that I'm against those, but when Jason and I agreed that we would really give our seed to God into really helping those misunfortunate people. And that's the other secret tip. So if you aren't doing this, if you're not giving 10%, then you are really setting yourself up to not succeed. That might be your wall. So that's the other one that I realized by looking back and answering all those questions was that if you're not edifying or honoring your leaders on your team, on who is on your team and your team leaders, if you're not doing that and you're not walking in forgiveness, then you are truly not set up to soar. And you should be edifying corporate. You should be edifying the oils. You should be edifying your team. You should be edifying, other team members that are on your team, edifying everything. This is a huge gift that God has given us to be able to grow our business. Here's the other one. I got this lovely picture. I don't know if y'all can see it, but if you work harder, I learned from Danny, if you work harder on yourself than you do anyone else, then you'll be unusually successful. And I said it really fast, so please read it again. But here's the deal. Some people come to me and they say, what can I do? How do I get my team moving? And I'm always like, nothing. You need to go work on yourself, because people are going to do what you're going to do. They're going to, if you don't know the product, how is your team going to know the product? If you're not reading, how are they going to be reading? If you're not going to invest in training, how are they going to go invest in training? You can't expect your children to do something that you're not doing. So how would you expect your team to do that? And so it's very it's another law. You can't expect something when you're not even doing it yourself. I can't even tell you how many people I know that are not truly using the products, because I can tell if they're ordering 300 PV or not. And we'll go over that in a second. Okay, I got to hurry because I see what time, and I've got just a couple more slides. When people come to you and they're coming to your meetings, they're asking themselves 2 questions. They're asking themselves, does this stuff work? And they're asking another question, can I do this? Those are the 2 questions. If you answer those 2 questions, you should be signing people up. And the only way that this can answer is, does this work, is if by using the products. And I don't want to go over that so much, but it creates belief. It creates, I am my own lab. I know the products left and right. I've used every single product. You should be able to say the exact same thing. And can I do this? They're watching you. Can you do this? Can I do this? Can Christa do what you're doing? It's a system. And the more stupid you look, the better. Are you gonna train up by social media? Then they're gonna train up by social media. If you have not trained up by social media, please do not go into social media. If I'm telling you, if you are a one-on-one person, then you are going to be set up for massive success. But I'm going to go into how to save the most money and get products in your hands. Okay. Is that good with you? Please say yes. I want to know how to get the most free products into my home in the fastest way. Okay. Great. Thank you for your response. I'm going to talk about why Essential Rewards. I like to call it the loyalty program. You are already spending money on shampoo, deodorant, toothpaste, right? So let me show you how to do it free. You all know about, some of you may or may not know about the rewards. Every month, the company gives something away free, depending on how much you spend. And you can see the green box, the orange box, and the blue box. But I'm going to focus on the 300 PV. You order $300 worth of products. This month, you're going to be given 7 products, a value of over $250 more. It's like 260, I'm sure it's like 280, 290 with shipping and tax and all that. So a massive, so you're going to spend $300, you're almost getting $300 just with this rewards. And I'm going to show you a trick about how to make sure you're getting that. But here's the deal. When I got started, I didn't have $300. And so what I did is I called my sister, I called my mom, and I said, Mom, you got to order some peppermint. Why? I was like, I don't know, Mom, just try it. Okay. And she'd order peppermint. And then I called my sister and I was like, Val, you got to order lavender, and I need you to try Melrose because I tried it on my son and it worked amazing. And so she'd order it. So if I didn't have the $300, I went and found it. And they ordered. So I got them on my Essential Rewards. Now, this way, Essential Rewards now, instead of we could actually drop ship it to their house. You can do different shipping, and you can literally have it drop shipped to them. And you're getting the freebies. You guys are getting those freebies right there on this slide. You don't have that $300. Make it happen. And this is so easy, so duplicatable. You tell everyone to do this. Don't worry about sharing. Don't worry about getting a meeting together. Don't worry about anything. Just get your monthly freebies. That's what you should make it happen. That's right. Make it happen. And so this is why. Okay, you're going to share, you're going to tell them, my sister, Val, I'm going to give you my 24% discount, and I'll share shipping with you. And it's going to drop ship to your home, or it's going to drop ship to me. Make her pay shipping, make her pay half. My mom pays the other half. I get free shipping. ER, it's already discounted. And with the ER, you can cancel it, you can change it. There's no commitments. Here's my own loyalty program back office. There's a grace month. You don't lose any of your earned percents. And we'll talk about that. You get 10, 15 to 20%, depending on how long it is. Here's something a lot of people don't understand about ER though. We get a 24% discount on ER, but there's 5 different kits that are only available on this program. That's an additional 5% savings, making it almost 30% discount. 30% discount, guys. Plus, you're ordering at 300 PV, 30% discount. And plus, if you're at 20%, you're getting $60 into your hand. Right here at 10%, you'll be getting $30 into your hand. But if you're at 20%, you're gonna get $60 each month put into your account to use anytime. You only pay shipping, and we a lot of times overnight that. So that's a no-brainer. That is your first step. If you're not doing this, hopefully you already are, but this is what you need to do. Then the second time that you want to do this twice, you can get these freebies twice. This allows you to use the products. This is the 1, 2, 3 win system. You're using the products, you're sharing the products, you're sharing your discounts, you're getting a client list by doing this. Did my mom and my sister sign up? You betcha. Can you still hear me? I had a sign come up. Can you all still hear me? Say yes. Okay, good. All right. I just said it was, thank you, Rebecca, for saying, hi, Rebecca. Thank you, Robin. Okay, so use the products. This will allow you to, okay, so just imagine getting those freebies twice. So you're creating your stash. You're creating ways to bless people. You can either gift them, or you can, the $60. The $60 is when you're at 20% on ER. You get $60 into your ER account to use, and it accumulates, and you can buy anything you want at any time. A lot of times people save it for Christmas. Some people will save it to buy an Aria, Aroma Complete kit. You can do that one per account. Did you know that? I had a friend buy an Aroma Complete count with her ER points, and I think her shipping was like $14. So that's like a $4,000 kit. So yeah, get the freebies twice and farm them out. And you can do one, get your ER to 300 PV, shut it off, set up another account at 300, go collect orders, tell them, you know what, I want to give you 24% discount. It helps, and tell them why. It helps me. I am going to be able to get some stuff that will really help my family. Would you be willing to help me out? Okay. So back to this 1, 2, 3 win system. 1, use the products, get the monthly promo, earn your free points, save on shipping, create a client list. You're going to get healthier. You're going to get more savings, and you're going to earn that bank account. Okay. And yes, you'll get all of that for free. Number 2, call the family. So number 1, use the products, order them. 2, get 2 orders, call your family, tell them to order. Hey, I was thinking about you. I don't know if this will work for you or not, but you can get your money back if it doesn't work. You guys, I've never had anyone take me up on getting their money back. Never, not once. Again, I kind of gone over this. So split the shipping, make them pay for the shipping. I usually make them pay for shipping because I'm spending my time working. And I can actually even share the freebies with them as a motive if you want to, and you're going to earn those free points. Okay. So my sister comes to me and says, okay, because I'm talking to her about all my free stuff. I'm talking to her about the $60 I'm getting every single month. So she comes to me and she says, I want to get started. And I said, okay, you got to get the start kit at what, $150, $160. So, well, surely there's got to be a cheaper way. And I have never gotten anyone started on the $40 start kit. And here's why. Because if she came to me and said, I want to get started, I would say the best way to get started is the ARIA start kit. And she's like, $260, really? And I said, yes. And here's why, Valerie. There is a start kit at $40, but it's a one-time membership fee. You get a couple of samples, but here's the honest deal. If you get started, you will never have the opportunity to get a 50% discount again. When you buy the ARIA, it's almost an 85% discount alone. I can't even buy the ARIA. If I went online right now with my discount, I would have to spend $225 to get this ARIA. And you have the opportunity to get this ARIA and the start kit and your one-time membership fee and the top 11, 10 oils, all for $260. You will not get this opportunity again. And if you don't have the money right now, save it and do this kit. Does that make sense to you? So that is why you want to share this start kit when you get, that's your next motive. That's your next step after they, you're dripping on them, you're sharing stories with them. And this is why when you share it like that, people are like, oh, she's just not trying to screw me. She's not trying to just get my money. If you explain it like that and you're really helping them and you're really seeing that this is their fastest discount, the most amazing cheap way. Gosh, guys, that ARIA is a complete bomb.com. It is the best kit. The best diffuser ever. So then 3rd is building residual. This is where, oh, I got this. You can't even see got a little typo up there, but people forget to if my mom, I was like, Mom, here's your coupon to get your discount. Here is what you need to get yours to get started. The company will send me a thank you. This is where the 3rd part, you got 1, use oils, get on ER, get 2 orders a month. 2, share it with family, friends, get them the discount, drip on them about stories. I had one friend tell me she got the essential oil desk reference. How she started her business was she read the essential oil desk reference. She kept thinking about people as she was reading, and she would call them and say, you know what? I was thinking about you and I just saw this. I don't know if it's going to work for you the same. All I know is you can get your money back. If it doesn't, it's worth a try. Would you be willing to try it out? I can give you my discount. You can try it out and see if it works for you. So you could scan them. You can say, you know what? I'm trying something new. Can you come and do this scan? I just really don't know what I'm doing, and I really want to see if it's going to work. Your friends are willing to help you. But here's the 3rd thing. Don't forget to tell them, here is my coupon number, and you're going to need this to get started. If you ever decide to get started, please use this number. That's how I like to talk about it. And because people understand coupons. And it is a coupon code. People use them all the time. It's a coupon code to get their discount. They have to have it. So building residual, the 3rd part, This is the only thing you ever have to explain to people about the compensation plan. Please don't try to memorize the compensation plan. How to become an expert. If you really want to know that, there's 2-3 hours trainings on YouTube all over the place. I have a 1.5 hour training on the compensation plan if you're needed that, but you don't need to know it unless you're there. If you're at silver, then you need to learn it. You need 6 teams. 6 different teams, and you need 1 leader in all those teams. But here's what you explain to people. Valerie, if you share this with your friends, you're going to get a $25 one-time fee, and you're going to get 25% for 3 months. That's it. That's all I explain to them. That's all I ever explain to people. That's all you need to tell them. Because here's the deal. When you get into an airplane, which a lot of you do, you don't go to the pilot and ask them how the plane works. You don't ask your husband how the car works, but a lot of you get into your car anyway and drive it. But we make this so difficult. And this is just for you. I found this from by Dolph. He's a great guy. He just built this thing, and pretty much you promote by how much volume your team does. And this is just your compensation. I usually don't share this. I just thought it was pretty. But for life, you get 8% off the people you sign up. And then depending on where they're at, you get 5 to 4%. So it's an average of about 4 to 5% for your entire team. And this is where you find out where you're positioned at as far as a leader. That's all you need to know. So here's the deal. This is so cool. Have you ever heard of the Power of One? Okay, say, Christa, I get this. I'm totally behind you. I love the products, whatever. Okay, what if I showed you, if you just shared with one person a month for 12 months, one person a month, and you taught everyone to do the exact same thing. In 12 months, you will have 4,096 people on your team. If everybody just enrolls one person a month, this is what your organization will look like. Now, if they were to order $50 each, that's 204, 800, I don't even know how to say that, volume that you'd be paid off of. That's crazy. And that determines your rank. You would be a platinum at that position. What if this took you 12 years to do, to get to 4,000 people? Would that be worth it? So here's 5 things that millionaires do that most people won't. They work hard, meaning they work hard wherever they're at. They're focused. They're playing the law of focus. When they're with their kids, they're hard at playing. They're hard with their husbands. Not hard, you know what I'm talking about. But they give, and they never stop learning. They journal, they visualize, they read self-help, they just keep going. I just wanted to share with you, I thought that was really powerful. Here's a law that I really placed into. It's called Law of Sowing and Reaping. It is impossible for you to make that kind of money without sowing into your education. It's impossible. I don't know of one leader in the diamond ranks that has not invested into themselves or a trainer. It doesn't exist. So if you're trying to do this without investing into yourself, and yeah, thanks Jennifer, enjoying that laugh there. Shootrons, you guys are distracting me. So it's law of sowing and reaping. You have to, that's why when you go to First Steps, no one's going to buy you a ticket to First Steps, because you have to come up with the money to get there, because then now I know, and they know, you're going to reap. That's why they don't give tickets away. That's why I don't. Do you know I have built my business by never leaving my state but one time, and that was to Texas, because the girl moved to Texas. Never left I never built my business leaving my state. I have never ran a free promo. I've never given things away until I became a diamond. I actually have never done a business training class until I became a diamond. But you have to apply this law of sowing and reaping. You have to invest. You have to give. You have to go and put something into it. Here's another big thing I wanted to cover was distractions. This is a huge thing I'm seeing in you and your team and your growth is social media. You guys, you have got to get off social media. 98% of people like to be entertained, and 2% create the entertainment, and they get paid. So what are you doing with your time? Here's another distractions. I love this little coconut guy. I don't know. I thought you guys thought it might be funny if you can see him, but who are you listening to? Who are you spending your time listening to? What are you watching? What's going in your ear gate, in your eye gate? And yes, if you're going to First Steps, please chat in the online chat if you're going. I see Christy and Andy are going. Sharon and Mark went. I know Sandy went. There's a lot of people have gone. Carrie's went. But who are you listening to? Social media is such a distraction. And so who you're listening to, and here's my question. Do they have the results? I picked Danny because she ran a 225,000 member business before social media even existed. So to me, that's results. And good job, Christy and Michael. Looks like from Tennessee, you guys are going. Here's another distraction. Leaders, what leaders are you listening to? But here's, so many people go, well, how do you find a business leader? And I have people coming to me, I'm doing this, I'm going to go all in, I'm all out. And I can in the back of my head go, because I'm going to watch what you do, not what you say. I'm going to put time and effort into people who are investing into themselves. Because if you're not worth it and you don't think you're worth it and you're not investing yourself into your worthiness, why do you think that I should? Why am I going to have, why are you expecting me to pull you up and to pour into you when you don't even do that? And that's the thing. When you're ready, God will promote you and throw you faster than you can say thank you. And you really need to watch the laws of this. So go to First Steps to Success. I picked Danny because to me, she had the more results than anyone else that I've ever seen. And you just need to go for yourself. I love going by myself and alone because it's for me. I go there to work harder on myself than I do anyone else. I see a lot of people go and they have the team mentality and the group mentality and things like that. And it's really a distraction. You really want to go and learn. And here's the deal. I applied the law of focus when I was at First Steps. This was another one of my secrets. Because I was pregnant all the time, I never knew when I was going to be able to go again. So when I was there, I was drinking it like it was my last water. And a lot of times when you listen to people talk about trainer or even Danny, they will you want to listen to people that have actually gone and attended. Some people will actually listen to her stuff and go, yeah, I've heard Danny. Yeah, I've listened to her. But until you've actually been there, you do not know what road they're talking about. It's a difference between people going to a roller coaster and saying, hey, and they're a blogger, and they say, hey, I'm going to go evaluate this roller coaster. And they go to the roller coaster and they stand right in front of the roller coaster and they take a selfie in front of it. And they say, oh yeah, the roller coaster was really cool. It went around the circle. It was blue and red and it was a lot of fun. Versus a person who actually gets on the ride and actually pays the ticket to get on that and experience it firsthand. You really want to be paying attention who you're listening to. What to expect there is an all-day Saturday training and all-day Sunday training, and you're going to learn amazing skills. And Monday is specifically for home-based business. It is my favorite part. But to be honest, when it's your first time, I don't know if I would recommend doing all 3 days because to me, I was so full from Saturday and Sunday that Monday I was overwhelmed. But Monday is so full of amazing tools and tips. I would hate to say don't make it, but I will just tell you, my first training, I was done by Saturday morning. That you'll get your money back too if you decide it's not going to work for you. And I would go expecting God to do something amazing, but they do give your money back. People asked, one of the questions was, how do you separate users from builders? And that's a huge mistake I see people make. I never separate them. I assume everybody's all the same. I teach multidimensional at all times. I share spiritual and products. And so to separate them is really wrong, in my opinion. You should always be upgrading. People are like, well, what if they don't want to go to First Steps? I'm like, awesome. See if they want to go to convention. If they don't want to go to convention, are they on ER? If they don't want to go to ER, they want to go to care. If they don't want to go to care, maybe they want to buy a Zyto. Maybe they want to buy a Itovi. Maybe they need an essential oil desk reference or healing oils of the Bible. There's always an upgrade to your builder that you're talking about. And I'm going over time, but I hope y'all are with me. I'm going to continue on if that's okay. Say, yes, I'm all in, or I'm going to shut it down. So I got a couple more things. Okay, cool. Thank you, Pam. And thank you, Jessica. Prospecting. People are like, how do you prospect? You guys, this is so easy. I have so many prospecting problems that I stop prospecting because it's limitless. If your motive is really to help people. Your foundation is right. You've applied the laws. The prospecting is limitless. You don't have to go call calls. You don't have to do cold leads. You have so many people in your warm market if you know how to form. If you don't know how to form, buy Danny's Magnetic Influence. It teaches you all about it. I don't know how much it is. Go look at it. And your motive is right. You can help people. You've got to help people. And maybe you're not in a place where you want to help people. Maybe you really are financially strapped and you're struggling and you really just don't want to do it. Just pray, Lord, help me really be willing to help people, because I was there once. I know what it's like to be hurting and financially strapped. But here's the deal. If you really want to help another person, Ecclesiastics, it says in 10:19, money is the answer to everything. That one blows me away. Money is the answer to everything. So if we can make some crazy money, then we can really help some really hurting people. So fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real. We talked about the wicked servants, but all excuses are bathed in fear. I couldn't tell you how many fear things I have, but let me see. I had fear of, from your guys' surveys, fear of having an agenda, fear of safety, fear of overwhelming, fear it's an MLM, fear of crazy, rejection, selling them, compliance, saying the wrong thing, and doTERRA or other companies. Here's the deal. I have a question for you. If you're afraid of one of those things, say rejection, they're going to reject you. Is it by chance that you've already been rejected? You can answer yes or no. Is it fear that you've already been non-compliant? Is it afraid that you've already you don't know enough about the safety? Do you know everything there is to know about the oils? Has it been that you already don't know what there is about the oils? So the question is, if you're afraid of whatever it is, it's already happened. So it's kind of silly when you look at it that way, and realizing that it's really, if you're afraid of being embarrassed, you've already been embarrassed. So it's an evidence falsely appearing real. And a lot of times it already has happened. So just face it. But if you're willing to go outside yourself and really help people in action, I realize that my PowerPoint that I updated is not actually updated. And I have some other, anyway, I'm sorry. Talking to myself, I talk out loud. So here's a quote I got from my friend Linda. She said, if there ever comes a time when women of the world come together pure and simply for the benefit of mankind, it will be force the world has never known. It's pretty powerful. So and one question, I sing so a lot, so sorry. But anyway, who do I work with? I work with anyone, anywhere, anytime, any team. Because I apply the law of sowing, reaping. If I sow into them, God's going to reap back to me, into my needs. But when you are growing your team, it's like pruning. It's like a field. And sometimes there's rocks, there's weeds, there's plowing, there's a seed time, there's a planting time, there's a harvest time. And so some of you are in all different seasons. And some of you have rocks in your issue. And I'm talking about your own personal field. And the grass looks greener always on the other side. And so that's why I don't want you to get distracted. I don't want you to look on social media, to get off of there. Some of you are planting into some really good dirt. Some of you aren't. Some of you are planting into some weeds. But when you find your good dirt and you plant your seed, don't be the hen and the chicken that goes and sit on your eggs. And like, look, I've got 10 people. Look, I've got 300 people. Look, I've got 5. And you sit on your hands and you look at your team and you're like, come on, hatch this egg already. Hatch this egg already. No, you need to pretend like you have no team and keep doing what you did to get those people. What your job is to do with that team is just to protect it. Give it some water, get it some sun, and allow it to do what's natural and to grow. Have you ever seen a tree kind of go, apple, like work really hard? No, they don't. It comes very natural to an apple tree to grow an apple. It's not something that I stand over the apple tree and force it and push it and stare at it and say, what can I do for you? No, you let it do its thing, just like we do with our own leaders. And again, you being a servant leader, you're going to see a harvest. It's the law. You can't go against it. So I'm asking you, who's going to go? the Lord said to Samuel, no, it was Isaiah 6:8. I wrote this down. I heard a voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send and who will go for us? And I said, here I am, send me. So if you're willing to let go of your past, of your fear, of your insecurities, of what you're doing that's wrong, apply the law of investing into yourself, reading and supporting yourself, applying the laws that work, and go into the future, you're going to have to get loose of your ego. If you don't like my voice, you don't like the way I teach, you don't like the way I encourage, you just need to, I'm not just talking about me, I'm talking about other trainers, even Danny. Some people are like, I don't like her squeaky voice. And I'm like, that's all the more reason you need to go. You have an ego. If you're judging people, you're going to reap judgment. It's the law. If you're critical of people, you're going to reap criticism. If you're not getting encouragement, you are not giving encouragement. If you're judging your leader, people are going to judge you. So it's really painful when you look in the mirror and see what's coming out of your mind and your heart, is that you will be doing your reaping. So if you want to be with me and leave a legacy, then let's do this, and we can really move the mountain. That is the end of all my questions that I got first, Cam, but I have 8 pages of more questions. I'm going to I'm going to try to open up, because I would love to hear from you guys. If you have any questions, I'd give time to let's do 2 questions. If you want to type it, I don't know how to unmute you guys. So if you have a question, what was the name of the book by Danny? Just go to DannyJohnson.com. I will send you a link actually as a gift. Well, it's not really a gift. I'm going to send you Magnetic Influences of CDs. And I will send you a link after this of an interview that Danny did with me. You guys, I followed Danny for, gosh, I don't know how long. And she didn't even know who I was. And it wasn't until I reached Diamond Rank that I just went to her and said, thank you for investing into us. And she found me and she interviewed me, and I'm going to send you that interview. And you can kind of get a little bit more about how I grew with her sharing a little bit about that. So you can get that too. Any questions that you guys have? I know I talked a lot. I kind of was all over the place, but I was trying to answer the questions that were sent to us. Yeah, post the questions here, Christy says. You're welcome for sharing. Yes, I'll be sending it to your email. There is a survey. Anytime you can give me anything that you're having problems with, I cannot wait to cover some of these things. I'm going to be covering with like why MLM, how to overwhelm people, more fear stuff, compliance issues. We'll talk more about safety of the oils. Do you know, and I'll leave you this bonus. When you become a Royal Crown Diamond, the Young Living will send you and 6 leaders, actually, but I was able to get, I think, 12 of us, 13 of us. I got 2 for each team just because I asked for it. Nobody else asked for it, but I got 13 of us up to Young. They fly you up to Young Living. They pay for your hotel, and they pay for you to be there. And we went to visit corporate. And when we were there, we actually visited the facility warehouse where they do all the testing. It was there that when all of these things flare up in social media, they don't even hiccup me anymore. I don't even blink. I don't even read them anymore because of what I really know. And that is a nonverbal communication that I put off, because I don't get questions like they're too expensive. Because to me, unless they have matched your co-pays and your insurance pays and your medication pays, until that cost is equal, that we have nothing to talk about. Because the options, if you were to go into the ER, will wipe out your entire savings compared to what you could spend in oils and using them and stopping you from getting to that place of massive inflammation. So when we were there, they told us that the FDA came through and said, you guys are doing too much testing. You only have to test 1 time per 1 batch. And they test everything. They test like 9 different tests. They test for mold. I mean, it was crazy what we test for and the safety and the use of our oils. And when people talk to me about the safety, I'm just like, you guys, they use them in IVs in Ecuador. So I don't know about you, but all I know is they're pretty, they're bomb.com. And here's another thing. It if you just Google how many deaths there are according to Tylenol over the counter, and I will just tell you, there are 450 deaths a year, and how American Association of Poison Control Centers showed that there were 0 deaths from use of oils in 2 years, from a 2-year period, what they studied. I mean, the question is what you aren't asking. Instead of saying, well, is this safe? What you should be asking is what you're using is safe. And you're right, you can't put a price on your family's health, Stephanie. Thank you. So anyway, that I'm going to end that with that. But I can't wait to cover some of these other things. I just want to say thank you. I'm going to end this call now. I'm just going to end the recording so we can actually hopefully share it.